the update for the Mercury goals, 1.5 goals. Uh, I have like achieved like well, not really achieved most of it, but I achieved at least one or almost two of them. But the other one was a bit cancelled because it was relating to the virtual worlds. But I'm still looking forward to my new Mercury goals for the 1.5 goals and the next 1.5 months. And I'm also looking forward to work on the new work with work with the uh, VA works. Uh, I'll try to schedule. I'll have my schedule up on the Jello team as soon as I can. Also, I will bring up my schedule for Canopy if I'm allowed to for the session as well. Check.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go next. Okay, I'm feeling about 3. It's 11 o'clock in my place, and I've been working with the Canopy, recruitment support, policies, and stage 6 onboarding. And I'm looking forward for this session and hoping that we have hoping to have a good result for the 1.5 goals.
All right. Do you have anyone else to check in?
We're currently only 4 people.
4 people.
That being no. Okay.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna
let's
do
get
the
our topics.
rankings.
And oh yeah, rankings.
We're gonna do
So
the rankings.
did we link the notes?
I will do it. A moment.
We have not linked the notes. So Pressy, I think you're doing the same thing again, where you just volunteer to do
Where's
everything, and then no one gets a chance to do
where's
anything.
the where can I find the what do you call this? The Mercury Mercury team Mercury doc main doc or the
It's not a main doc. It's a normal doc, and you'd find it on the main doc.
okay. Hold on. I'll link it.
Mercury Session Docs Notes. I'm gonna put it there. I found it.
Pressy, Gino's trying to help and do work, and you just keep taking all of the tasks and responsibilities. And if you don't let anyone else do it, they're never gonna learn how to do it.
Okay.
Like it's always faster for me to do something, but I purposely don't do things so that other people are forced to learn how to do them. Otherwise, nobody would ever learn how to do anything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So as a leader, one of your roles is to actually step back and let other people step forward. You know.
Okay, sorry.
So where do I find the it's
It's called Mercury Session Doc Notes. It's on the main doc that we use on the Mars session.
Okay, found it.
Did you get it?
Yes, I'm just gonna look.
Okay. The rankings would be J, Pressy, Gino, and Linton.
Mercury Session.
We're gonna do the strikes. The strikes would be for Temitope, for not response Temitope, Tanisha, and Mamoon, for not responding.
Did you give him a 24-hour warning?
No, I don't.
So maybe you should add yourself to the strikes as well.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna put myself.
So if we don't even do the responses, we don't actually give people warnings and tell them they need to respond, then it doesn't make sense to give them strikes. So it means we're just not doing the work.
Sorry.
Thursday, 6th August 2020. link it to this.
Are you doing the value tracking?
I'm gonna do the value tracking.
I'll also be doing the value tracking.
And
I'm gonna send it.
has anyone worked on the spreadsheet for the Mars value tracking overall?
I guess it's Alpina.
Did anyone work on the spreadsheet for the value tracking for the Mars alignment overall?
Yes, Albina did, and I also did for the last session we have for the yoga and meditation.
Okay.
Oh wait.
Okay, so are we ready to move on?
Yes.
So we can get into our desired outcomes and topics for the session. So what topics do we have? Obviously,
Verifying and approval of.
Isn't 1 point the Mercury update goals?
It's 9:15.
yes. So 1.5 month goals. So we want to review and do self-evaluations and set our goals for the next 1.5 months. Also, based on our policies, everybody who's not here is not allowed to work until they do their 1.5 month goals, so we can remind them that.
Okay.
I think we also have recruitment, and we can help Vincent. Recruitment, I guess budget.
Can I also have my canopy schedule verification in this session?
Well, you can propose any priority you want to.
So that like I can at least get it finalized as ASAP or as soon as possible.
Okay, but I think that what I want to challenge you on is to just be clear and direct. So the question was, can you do something? The answer is yes if you want to, and then I want to encourage you to actually do it.
Yes, definitely yes.
Well, no, you still haven't done it yet.
Like the schedule?
No, right now we're talking about topics and the desired outcomes and topics for the session, right? So the way that you communicate about topics, you say, I would like to add this topic to our list of topics so that we can talk about it. Done, check, right? You did not do that. Do you understand?
Okay.
Instead, you said, is it possible for me to add a topic? And the answer was yes, but then you never actually added one.
Okay. I would like to add the canopy schedule verification for me, for the green team. Canopy green team schedule for me. Yes.
Cool. Canopy green team schedule verification. That is very clear. So that helps a lot to like know exactly what you're talking about and have it on the topics. Boom. And then we're gonna go back to check-ins. We have Albina.
Yeah, I'll check in, guys. Sorry, I'm late.
Okay.
I'm like 3.75. 6 a.m. here. I've been working on onboarding certified techniques. Google Calendar updating. On access.
Is
Great. Any other topics or desired outcomes, Albina, that you want to share?
Can you just practice?
Was that a no?
Nothing, no.
Okay. So, any other desired outcomes or goals? Topics.
Linson, do you have any questions or discussion?
I don't have any.
Do we have any next steps or other things we don't want to forget about from previous sessions?
I think we have next steps.
Maybe updating the stage 6 with the advanced responsibility organizing and getting organized.
Okay. So, new stage 6 responsibility organizing. No, it's not responsibility organizing. It was what was it, Albina?
Advanced responsibility. Is it advanced responsibility organizing and getting organized?
No, it's getting organized. That's what it is.
Yeah, getting organized.
And self-driven responsibilities. All right. Any other topics?
None on my side.
And on your side also.
Okay, are there any objections to the topics?
No objections.
No.
Objections.
So let's get started. So the first thing to do is to help Lingsing take care of the recruitment, so he can know what is going to happen and move forward and be able to get that all taken care of. So, does anyone want to go through the recruitment, or you guys want me to do it, or what's going on?
Let's go to the recruitment.
Say again, Pressy?
We can go to the recruitment.
I was asking if you were able to do it. Can you go through it, or? Pressy, would you like to go through the recruitment for Lingsing, or do you want me to do it? I can't hear you at all, Pressy. Are you saying something?
Hello? I can't hear you well. Can you say that again?
You can't hear me?
Yeah. Okay, I can hear you now.
I was asking if you'd like to go over the recruitment for Lingsing. Hello?
Okay. I will.
Okay.
Okay, Linsong, do you have any question about the recruitment stage on what you are?
Currently I'm at the budget, right? Like
Yeah,
stage 4.
waiting for the budget.
Yeah, waiting for the budget. My question, I think, at most is about the MBT, main body team.
What is your question about the MBD?
Because in the Skype group for this stage 4, I was kind of confused with how Alarinde did the MVT, or we did the MVT, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, one of the most important things of an MBT is to approve your main buddy's budget, right?
Oh, so I need to approve his budget, in short.
Well, you're supposed to, for a main buddy team, to form your main buddy team. It's one of the requirements, but you don't have to do it before stage 5. You can do it after stage 5. But one of the issues with Orilinde is that he is proposing $10 to $20 an hour.
Yeah, I see that.
In his budget, which is quite high.
That's why I'm not sure if I should approve it or no.
Well, I mean, that's up to you to decide that, but it's but definitely we're trying to work with him. He would have to like update his pop and do budgetary changes and then propose to the HR board to do it early. Anyways, it's a bunch of different steps to try to do that. Otherwise, he can just wait, for 6 weeks and after the full moon. So anyone can change their
Okay.
budget proposal anytime they want to, but they just have to do it in the next budget round, or like a
Alright.
future budget round. So we'll see what he says. I mean, basically, when I talked to him about it, he didn't really respond and communicate in detail, so I'm not really sure what he's gonna do. But either way, the main buddy team is optional. I mean, you don't have to do the main buddy team
Okay.
until stage 5, and you're on stage 4.
Okay. So if ever Olarinde doesn't go to stage 5, I'll just find a new main body team, right?
Well, no, you can actually be a main buddy with anybody, regardless of what stage they're on. So if you're proposing, whoever you propose with you, if you're approved in stage 5, they would be approved as well.
All right.
So you can bring anybody into stage 5. The only question is whether they would be active or not, and activated in the budget. So hopefully that makes sense.
It does. Yeah. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, on the budget, we have to update the budget. We also do ranking. So everybody will just be in active budget. So we activate basing on the ranking. So we also do the proposals on the voting form, which we will send out everyone to vote on. So meanwhile, you have just get you into the budget. We do MBT after the budget approval. But for now, because they're waiting on the budget, you just have to. But you can choose any
Okay.
Or Larry is not a suitable person, you just choose another person, provided
Okay.
that person is that. Because you cannot approve your own budget, somebody else should approve your budget. That's why we have a budget.
All right.
And be reminded that MBT, you can have 2 MBTs. Like, for example, you, Gino, and Olarende. You can have 2 MBTs like that.
2 buddies, like 2 people.
2 buddies.
Or 3.
Okay.
Isn't that 2 to 3?
2 to 3
Buddies.
2 to
person.
3.
All right.
You're gonna do vice versa. Like MBT, when you are 2, you're gonna approve each budget, vice versa.
Okay. I got it.
Not only for the MBT, but also on your POP, to make sure that all of the information from your MBT is from that from the POP. So for us to ensure that your POP and MBT are synchronized.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, the POP is the primary document. So your POP basically is your budget proposal that then gets approved by your main buddy team. But let's say your main buddy team doesn't work out and you want to change it for a certain budget, you can change your main buddy team, but it doesn't change your actual budget proposal in your POP.
Oh.
So your POP is primary and the main buddy team is secondary, and but it's still important. In the past, we've had main buddy teams that were required before stage 5, but right now, because of just all the budgetary needs and just the limited work that we get done, we just have taken out that requirement because it just gets to be a lot of work to do all the main buddy stuff before. And plus, we just want people to be able to get in the budget and get paid for doing all that extra work to do their main buddy team. So that's another reason too. Also, are you tracking your hours on your POP?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Excellent. So as far as the budget goes, the workers don't have to wait around for the budget. So basically, you have the new recruits, and they have the workers. The workers are supposed to do the work of updating the budget, but as you can see, there's a lot of just like waiting around, not getting work done, or working on other priorities. So the budget just sort of like sits around. So it is technically, we do have empowered rights for new recruits are able to step up and work on the budget and schedule for the budget and make sure that it's being dealt with or working on it
Also, I
themselves.
can step up to work on the budget.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely, because otherwise it could just sit around forever. Like if the new recruits were never able to work on the budget and the people currently getting paid never ever updated it, then it would basically it could never get done, right? The only thing we
Yeah.
have to stop that in our policies is that at the full moon, well, actually, it's new moon, you go on soft stop. Quarter moon, it's hard stop. So after quarter moon, no one's allowed to do any more work. And then you've got the full moon is where you go an upfront pay stop. So at the full moon, nobody gets paid anymore. And basically, it's everyone's equal at that point. So once you get to the full moon and you're 2 weeks behind on the budget, everyone stops getting paid, and then anyone can work on the budget regardless of whether you're a new recruit or an existing worker, and it just needs to get done. So we passed this moon month's budget already, so the next moon month budget doesn't start until the new moon, which is about 2 weeks away, or like a week and a half away. So that's the current time frame, and so the options are either to update this month's budget. So if you were gonna work or you wanted to help make sure people schedule to work on the budget, if you want to get started immediately, it would be about updating the current month's budget and adding you into it. And then the other option is to work towards the next month's budget, which would be for the new moon. The last option is to just jump into a team budget. Like if you're interested in a specific team, there are certain teams that we're hiring for that can skip the budget process entirely and get approved directly. But those are like specialty positions that we're hiring for. So it just kind of depends on what you're interested in working on when you join.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we have our work schedule on budget with Tracy later on.
Yes, later. We agreed on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
You mean for today?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay, so we are on the bottom of an hour. We have our 30-second stretch.
Okay, 30-second stretch.
Let's stretch. Okay. Okay. So let's anything with any question with the recruitment?
Yeah, so
I'm sure.
Did you say you had a question or not?
I'm clear. I'm clear with the. I don't have any question.
So my other question for you is just if you just to confirm, you just sort of are going for being a general worker with the Jella team, and then if there was, or maybe you're going for like a general worker / steering team, like if you're representing one of the quadrants.
I think I'll be representing the quadrants, I guess. I'm not exactly sure because I'm not really I don't really understand what those two are different.
Well, do you know about that? It's really important to know the different positions, because if you are trying to get into the budget, you want to know what you're working to get into. So there's 4 quadrants that have representation, and that's the quadrant representatives and the general workers, and that is based on the elections, right? So you need to know what quadrant that you proposed into. And then we have all of the teams. Do we have the actual budget? I think I might have a new budget that I wouldn't mind sharing. Let me see if I can find it. So do you know all of the different teams and everything, or
and
the teams?
Are the teams octant like that, or no, or it's different?
The teams are, we switched the teams to be quadrants. So there's 4 quadrants now. So did you fill out the intake form?
Yeah, I did the intake form.
What did you put on your pop? Like you're required to have your quadrant on your pop. Did someone review Lingsing's pop or not?
I had it on Asia and Phoenix because I remember that there's like octant you can choose from.
Yeah, it's representing Phoenix as on the pop.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, but
that's the one I had before.
We're changing to quadrants. So did you guys make sure all the pops were updated to quadrants or not?
Yep. When I verified when I support Olarinde and Raj, I told them to put their not only their octants but also for the quadrants that they choose.
The octants are no longer applicable. We're only doing quadrants now.
Okay.
So each of the quadrants can work out within the quadrant, how they're going to organize the 2 octants, but there's 4 quadrants and each quadrant is responsible for 2 octants. How they want to break down and organize those 2 octants is up to each quadrant to decide that. But as far as like people choosing, it's not up to yourself to choose. It's now up to the quadrant to decide who and how the octants will get managed and coordinated. So anyways, the focus is on the quadrant, but I'm assuming that you are going to be doing Austrasia.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So as far as Austrasia goes, I believe Pressy, you're the quadrant representative for Austrasia as well.
Austrasia, yeah.
Or you probably will be, and so we need to be coordinating all of that. As far as who's and which one, so we can just quickly go over it really fast. So you have Austrasia. This would be Old World.
America.
I feel like we went over this before. So you have your Africa as well, and then for New World. And is your Africa Teme Tope? Can't remember. Pressy, and then New World you have
Pacific
and Atlantic. So Atlantic I think is vacant, right? I mean vacant / Tamisha. I don't even know if Tamisha is doing. Maybe she is. Oh no, maybe Atlantic is Mamoon for Hydra. Yeah. And then Pacific Hydra would be I guess
you and Albina.
Yeah, I guess it would either be Albina or Gina. Because I am the centaur, right? So centaur / CEO, that would be me. So that is the current model. Well, no, there's just one. There's, Gina would be the backup, right?
Okay.
Or the second, depending on how we decide to do it. We have to decide that. So that gives a general idea, and we can see how the rankings go. But anyways, as far as the budget goes, I organized the budget into, the executive budgets, the core team budgets, the steering team budgets, and the other team budgets. So that breaks down, some of the teams. I think you were at the membership meeting, Lingsing. I'm not sure if you joined the staffing or the plasma, but that's a potential team you could join.
At the staffing.
The staffing, so you could potentially join the staffing team. There's also the canopy nativity teams, and then we have from there the AGC, which is the finances, and the session support, and then there's the pandemic networking. So those are the teams that have budgets. It's a one-time budget, so they're not stable budgets, but it definitely is, as we evolve the process. But the Jello team has an ongoing monthly budget, and currently it's just not a lot of money, so it's like $500 to $1,000. I think it's like $1,000 you should be able to do. or maybe like 750 to 1,000. So that's the Jello team itself, and then from there we have a $5,000 budget on top of all of that for all of the other teams that we need to start getting more support on. And all these teams we want to build with ongoing budgets, just like the Jello team. So it gives a little bit more idea of, getting focused on certain types of work in terms of the hiring process. So everyone is automatically, the Jello team and specifically the steering team. So the steering team is one representative from each of the 4 quadrants, and then what?
No, I mean, okay.
Yeah, so that's the primary decision making for the management of the entire organization, right? And the board makes legal decisions, but as far as like the week to week management and coordination of the organization, it's all done through the steering team. All right, so that's how that's done, and obviously there's going to be backups, and everyone's welcome to attend the steering team, which are the quarter moons, and so we will be having obviously more than just the 4 people represented there. But as far as the budget goes, there's not going to be more than probably like 6 people in the steering team budget at most, right? So in terms of the rest of the budgets, it's just important that people who want to be serious about getting involved can't just kind of dilly-dally and be like, oh, I'm just going to kind of see how things go and not know what I'm doing and not really, focus on anything. We don't really have the funds to pay people to just kind of sit around. We need people to really get focused on our priorities. So our priorities are budgeted, and the priorities, again, there's the activity team, which is the deputy positions. Gino's taken on one of them, and there's another one as well. There's the canopy team, which is all the asset coordination. The plasmos, the accountability. The staffing is the supporting the decision making and coordination of the decision making bodies. AGC is all the finances and taxes. Session support is coordinating all the planetary sessions, including the upcoming Ceres session, the Earth sessions, the Venus sessions, etc. And then we have the pandemic network, the global pandemic network, to support just networking and communication around the pandemic response. So those are the groups that you could choose if you want to go quicker and have more of a focus on your work. All right. Cool. All right. So just let us know. Do you have any other questions or ideas or anything?
No, I don't have any questions.
Do you want to schedule or work at all on the budget, or you're just going to wait?
Since Albina and Percy is gonna work on this budget later.
Okay, well, let's just make sure that they update you and the stage 4. Okay, Albina and Pressy, you guys just make sure to update.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So, are there any other questions? Vincent?
I have none.
None. Okay. So yeah, so I think you're pretty much done. I mean, basically, until you figure out what exactly you want to focus on and what you're going to be doing, there's no reason for you to be doing like goals. I mean, you don't even know if you're in the budget yet, so there's no reason to do goals or any of the other topics. So basically, you're done for today and the Mercury session, and then you can check in during the next session if you'd like to. It's up to you, but it's just a matter of whether you have recruitment questions and need recruitment support to help move forward with the budget.
Currently no, so I think I'm done for the session.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. When is our next session?
Should I check out?
Yeah, you can check out. When is our next session?
Next main session.
Mercury.
Mercury Open Summit session.
2 p.m.
What do you mean 2 p.m.?
I mean 6 a.m. UTC.
Yes.
Well, no, but when is our next like main session?
our next main session will be the third 8 moon would be tomorrow, Friday. It's gonna be
Friday 7.
So you guys gonna have a budget update by then?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
so links in if you want to check in at that time, you can, or you can wait till the next one after that. They might have
Okay.
a budget. But as far as the open session, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to show up for that. Like, no one showed up for some of our other ones,
For the last open session.
but it's basically like if we don't do any outreach, we don't do any recruitment for the open sessions, like I don't think much is going to happen with those. So,
All right.
anyways, we'll just see how it evolves. And our next time we're going to be doing an open session will be the series open session, and we'll see if anything happens. But again, if we don't do the work of the outreach and recruitment, we should try to get a budget for the outreach and recruitment committee, but I mean commission, but I don't think we had a budget for that. I think we got rid of it, but we'll have to double check our decision making. So let's put that on our list of other topics.
Outreach.
It's 9:45.
But yeah, I don't really plan on attending the open sessions just because I don't think nothing's really happened with them, and it's not really for us. It's for inviting the public. Because if we're not inviting the public, we're not actually having anyone come, then it doesn't really make any sense to do the session, you know? All right, so I think we're ready to move on to the next topic. Any last things from you, Ling Sung? Are you good, or?
I'm good.
Cool. So we'll talk to you later.
Should I check out or?
Yeah. Go ahead and check out. That's fine.
Okay. I'd say I'll give this session a 7. And my priorities until the next session, I'll probably ask Aldina and Percy in the Skype for the budget if it's done yet or not, so that I can attend for the next open or the next session. And yeah, that's all. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited working with you. Yeah, for sure. One thing I'm noticing here for the events, like you guys need to actually go to the website when you update the Google Calendar. Because if you're not going to the website and after you update the Google Calendar, then you're not actually seeing if it is correct. So you can see here you have all of the events for the Open Mars session, and then it just like is putting the Canopy main session over and over and over again, which is obviously not correct.
Oh.
Do you guys understand or not?
Yeah, I understand.
So you want to make sure that those are on the in-between, and then we'll be updating everything for the series session. I've already started on the website for this series. I don't know if I have it here. No, it's not here. Cool. All right. So, ready to go on the next topic?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Topic go.
All right, so here's for our 83-degree west Global core team goals and evaluation report. So this is mainly going to be silenced for us to just be doing our self-evaluations and choosing our 1.5 month goals. Does anyone have any questions on how to do this?
None on my side.
As I remember it, we will update. Wait, where's mine? We will have the new goals for the next 1.5 months. Then state the previous goals that we had before, and then self-evaluation. Then we give ourselves a score for achieving the goals, right?
Yeah, but you do your new 1.5 month goals after you evaluate and review your previous goals, right? So typically what I do is, like in that case here, I have 4 goals. So I'm going to take the first goal, I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to do a report on how I did on that goal. And then I'm going to score it, right? Between 0 and 9. Right? So then I'm going to take
Okay.
the 4, I'm going to do a small sentence on each one to evaluate each goal. And then I'm going to do the score on each one. Then I'm going to average the 4 scores, and that'll be my score for the 1.5, the last 1.5 months. And then I'm going to do my new goals. Okay.
Okay. Oh, we can start updating. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, we're just working on our goals.
Oh. I thought that. Okay.
It's 10 o'clock.
Okay, how's everyone doing on their goals?
Not yet.
Not yet done. Still thinking for new goals.
Okay, we'll just keep working on them. Let's also take our 5-minute break at this time because we're at the top of the hour. So when we get back for the 5-minute break, we're going to continue to work on our goals a little bit, and then whoever's completed, we can start going over them and reviewing to make sure they look good. Okay?
Okay.
Cool.
I'm back. I'm back.
How's everyone doing?
I'm almost.
Just adding
Yes.
new goals.
All right, just let me know if anyone's ready.
I'm ready.
Presley, you ready?
I'm done.
All right, let's take a look at Pressy. So you gave yourself a percentage.
5.2.
Okay. That's technically 0 to 10 and not 0 to 9, but that's fine. And then up here we put 5.3. Score for achieving goals over last month. So where's your evaluation?
My evaluation is here.
Where?
Oh no, it's
So
here
you
is my
put
evaluation.
you put your evaluation and your score in the wrong place.
Yes, sorry. I didn't get through to stage 6, so but at least I can help to do the VA work. So I give myself 50%, and I'm on the 27 now, so almost done. I give myself 60% on scheduling at least 1 week. I've scheduled at least 1 week, but not in advance. A week in the same week. So I'll just give myself 60%, and I'm happy that Gino and Tamisha are on stage 6 and Timitoke, and I'm happy to guide them and to at least help them. And that's why I give myself 100. And it's also the first time that we have 3 newly recruits complete the stage 5 onboarding in the same time. And my next goal is to make sure that I make the responsibility organizing on reminders correctly. I'm really happy that the team is now not skipping the sessions, especially the one that held on Cobalt, because most of the time we are forgetting it. So I'm happy that we are doing the main sessions, most of the main sessions. And my last goal is to have more canopy sessions at least 3 times or more in a week. I'll give myself 25% because I fail on to communicate and scheduling to session canopy work sessions. Most of the time is just a main session, and the next one is to train at least 1 people, new recruits regarding sessions support staffing. And I'm happy that Gino is doing the reminders, and at least he is doing doing the reminders sometimes, and it's not only me and Dalvina who's doing the reminders and responses. Sometimes it was Temitope and Gino, so that's why we don't skip main session. And the last one is what kind of sessions? To at least do more client works at or daily works. I give myself 45% because I only do some setup and some management, and but still I'm stuck. Like for example, for the PINDA and for the taxes, and also for the billings.
Okay.
So
That sounds good. I mean, we definitely don't have time to go over every single person's evaluation. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a self-evaluation. So, if anyone wants to read people's evaluations, that's why they're written down. Anyone can read anyone else's evaluation. But we don't really have time to go through each one. So let's stay focused on the next 1.5 months goals, which is the whole point of this, is to set up our next 1.5 month goals, right? So you have proposing at least 1 week schedule in advance. That's pretty clear. To be able to do VA work at least 2 to 3 sessions per week, that's pretty clear. Accomplish at least 50% of tax work is not clear. So implying 50% of taxes would be implying 50% of 100%, right? So that would be listing all of the tax work. So that would include all of the for-profit taxes, all of the trust and individual taxes, all of the non-profit taxes, plus all of the RF1 forms and the past taxes that we need to do for 2018, and we need to do the government compliance on the statement of information, and we have the annual reporting. So it's just like a ton. So either you need to write all of that there, or you need to clarify what exactly you want to accomplish with taxes, because otherwise it's not clear. Okay?
Okay, we can say to accomplish at least one task on tax work.
That's also not clear at all. So again, the focus for the work, your focus should be on the work. Like, what is the actual goal of work? Taxes is a priority, not actual responsibilities and work. So you need to focus, for example, on for-profit taxes, like getting in the next 1.5 months to get all of the for-profit taxes done. That would be an example.
Okay.
Right, but you just saying that you want to do all taxes is just like, one, it's not clear, and it's all but impossible to do that. And again, it wouldn't be non-profit, it would be for-profit taxes. If you're going to list non-profit taxes, you do for-profit, trust, and individual, and non-profit. It would be all of them.
Okay, at least 10% of non-profit tax work.
What is 10%?
Of the non-profit tax work?
Yeah, what does 10% of non-profit taxes mean?
Okay, okay. I'm gonna repeat it again.
Okay. And again, non-profit taxes is the third in line. First it goes for-profit taxes, then it goes trusts and individual taxes, and then last is non-profit taxes. To help at least 2 of the potential recruits on their stage 3 and 4, to be able to list and update the bills for this month. So this is not a priority. We already did that. So this would be to actually accomplish the goal of making sure our bills get paid.
Okay.
To have 2 to 3 sessions for PINDA work sessions. Well, that's not work. That's session support. That doesn't make any sense. So basically you just want to make sure that the session support happens. To be able to train at least one person on session reminders and responses updating. That's fine.
At least to have 2 to 3 sessions for PINDA session support.
Yeah, well, it's a goal, but it's just not like it's nothing. I mean, that's just session support. It doesn't make any sense. Like, Like there's so many more priorities for session support. The idea that all you would care about is one of literally 10 different sessions and meetings that need to happen doesn't make any sense. All right. So is there any and also it's like it doesn't help to get 50% of the SK1s done. I mean, it doesn't, this idea of only doing half the work just doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? It's like don't even do the work then. It's like if all you're going to do is half the work, then what's the point of having a goal if you don't even try to accomplish anything? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like if you're going to create a goal, then create a goal to accomplish something. Don't say that your goal is to not accomplish something and only do 50% of the work. My goal is to only do half the work and leave everything undone. Like it's like that's ridiculous, right?
Yes.
All right. Anyone else have their goals ready to be reviewed?
Yeah, mine.
Okay, let's look at Albina. All right, so Albina, you have your previous goals. You got your self-evaluation. You got your 1.6, your 4.64. Overall, our evaluations are getting better, which is good. Onboarding process support. Continue with onboarding stage 6 mini training to ensure at least 3 existing workers completes the process. What is a mini training?
I think on stage if we have training 1, 2, 3. I guess it's just
Why don't we
training.
just call it trainings?
Oh, okay.
So is the goal to help Pressy, to make sure Pressy, Gino, and Temetope complete stage 6?
Yes, because they are the ones continuing stage 6. The
Okay.
rest are not.
So, you know, for me, I would just make it clear that, you know, to make sure Pressy, Gino, Temetope complete stage 6, period, right? That's the goal. So all the other information is extra. Focus on budget, but it's not like bad or anything. It's better to keep the goal clear and focused. Focus on budget and complete on time and avoid getting us in budget hard stops. So basically you're saying to complete the budget on time and prevent hard stops. So that is a goal. Support new recruits by ensuring those who will be approved in the budget are immediately starting on the onboarding stage 5 process. So what is the goal in this one?
Supporting new recruits on stage 5
Okay, is that a goal?
process. Yes.
It's not a goal. That's a priority. So basically you're just saying supporting new recruits in the stage 5, that's just prioritizing stage 5. So that definitely would not count as a goal.
Okay.
Improve on my canopy check-ins and do my complete check-ins for green team to minimize strikes. Again, this is not a goal. It's just a responsibility. It's just a priority. That's all it is. It's just a priority. There's no goal. There's nothing you're achieving. Right?
Yes.
You're sort of implying a goal of minimizing strikes, but it doesn't actually achieve anything. Like what is the goal? What do you achieve by minimizing strikes? To schedule more work sessions and focus on our upcoming taxes. Individual, again, this is not a goal. This is literally just a priority of scheduling work sessions for taxes. That's all it is. It's a priority.
What about to avoid taxes hard stuff? It's not a goal.
Okay, that's a little better. And do work before due dates to avoid taxes. Okay, so just make that clear. The actual goal is to complete taxes work before due dates and avoid taxes hard stop. That's the goal. Okay?
Yeah.
Follow through octant quadrant check-in to ensure the team is engaged in work and functional for our octants/quadrants to minimize team strikes. Follow through octant quadrant check-ins to ensure that the team is engaging in work and function. So yeah, that's not a goal either. It's a priority. Basically, that's just saying follow the policy. That's all it says is follow the policy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So to turn this into a goal, it would need to say something like, you know, to make sure that we meet you know, 60% or 75% of all of our quadrant or octant, this would be octant work check-ins, right? This is the octant work check-ins.
Yes.
So octant work check-ins is still octant. We still have to work on octants even though we represent our quadrants, right? So each quadrant is responsible for making sure the octant work is coordinated and done correctly. Focus on scheduling for VA and VA trainings to get more focus on VA work and balance my work between internal business operations for the team and VA work. Again, this is a priority. There's no goal. Like, what is the goal? What are you actually going to accomplish? It's just like, this is basically saying that you're going to schedule for VA trainings. That's like your work to begin with. It's not you're not achieving anything by just like it's like when Pressy did it. She said, I specifically want to schedule a minimum of 2 to 3 VA sessions per week, right? That's clear. Just saying you want to schedule for VA sessions and trainings is just a priority. It's a task. It's not a goal. Improve my schedule on JLN support to at least have one work session happening per week. See, that's a goal. See, it's specific. Your goal is to have one JLN support work session per week. Very clear, simple, straightforward goal. So that one's really good. Okay?
No.
All right, is Gino ready?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so you gave yourself a 4.5. And let's check out the goals. 1, complete stage 6. 2, find a qualified potential recruit for the second deputy position. That is a great goal. So to recruit a second deputy position. Help at least 1 to 2 recruits complete stage 5 onboarding before the 1.5 month. You don't need the before 1.5 month because that's for everything, right? Help at least 1 or 2 recruits complete stage 5. Okay, that's gonna be quite a goal, but you have 1 or 2. That's good. Get trained on monthly budget and quarterly budget. That's a this is like a half goal because it doesn't like, what is it like? What if you only do 30-minute training session and you really to actually be trained to be able to do the budget, you might need 5 training sessions. So
Okay.
it doesn't actually accomplish a goal. So this doesn't actually accomplish a goal because getting trained is different than actually taking on a responsibility, right? So basically the goal should be more like to have learned at least one responsibility within the budget, right? To be able to accomplish one responsibility, which means you can actually do the work.
Okay, I see.
To check in with
So-
teams daily, weekly. What? Did you have a question?
So it should only be monthly budget first, not like for.
Well, those are
just
2
one
separate
specific budget?
responsibilities, so they should be 2 separate goals.
Okay, I see.
Right? So the monthly budget and the quarterly budget, you could have separate goals for them. It's you could try to do it all in one goal, but there's no necessary reason to do that. But it's fine. But the point that I'm trying to make is that you need to have a clear goal and getting trained basically is scheduling. To schedule a training session on monthly budget, that doesn't accomplish anything. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's not really a goal, right? The goal would be scheduling, not monthly budget. So if your goal is to schedule, then that's fine, but then there's no goal on monthly budget or quarterly budget. Your goal is to schedule. Do you see the difference?
Yes. Okay.
So to check in with teams daily, weekly for status updates, remind them to have their status reports ready before the steering team session. Okay, so what's the goal? That's a responsibility.
Oh.
That's just a priority, a responsibility. There's check in with teams daily, weekly for status updates. Yeah. So what if you check in and they don't do anything? Right? Do you see the difference? Like, so your responsibility is just to check in and get updates, right? But what if you do all the check-ins and you do it all and then nobody does any status updates and you get no status updates? It's not clear whether or not that actually achieves anything. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this could be improved by actually having a goal being achieved. For example, making sure that all teams or half of the teams do status updates within the month, right? Attend the scheduled, because that means that actually gives you a challenge. Because if all you're trying to do is just to check in with teams and ask them to do status updates and they never do it, right? That doesn't do anything for anybody, right? So, but if you're actually trying to achieve the goal of getting updated statuses from every single team, that is a lot of work, and you better be on your ass, like checking every single day to make sure every single team does a status update. Otherwise, you're not going to achieve your goal. You see the difference?
Yes.
All right, so then you have
So
attend the
this is not a
scheduled canopy
goal?
sessions and support Jay. So again, this is just scheduling. I mean, it's not really a goal. It's just let's support Jay and schedule a session. Like
Okay.
there's no goal in that.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so
I'll
anything?
just remove the this two
Well, no, you should
and
fix them to make them
replace
goals.
or okay.
Just fix them and make them goals.
Okay.
So Tamisha, I was noticing Tamisha's on here. Like, where are we at with removing people from the budget? That's supposed to be done by the full moon. So we need to be, filling out policy tracking or realizing we're going on soft stop and hard stop because we're not doing the work for removals from the budget, which was supposed to already be done by now.
So we have to do the program for the removal for budget.
When is the due date for this is the main problem we've been having with the budget.
Yes,
Right,
we
is
have
that-
to propose removal for the budget before the full moon.
Yeah, so why is that not getting done by the full moon?
Okay.
Is there a reason why it's not getting done? Is it just that it's too much work, or you're too overwhelmed, or are you just forgetting, or what's going on? Hello?
Initially, Tamisha has been active. But
I'm not talking about
now when you
Tamisha. I'm
complete-
talking about doing the required responsibility of proposing removing people from the budget by the full moon. Why is that work not getting done?
For this month's budget or next month's budget?
Next month's budget.
I think for me, let's just say, I just forgot.
Okay,
got confused
so
today.
that's thank you for just being honest. Like, just forgetting makes a lot more sense than making up a bunch of baloney phony that's not real, right? So you forgot, you didn't do your responsibility, and instead you just sat around and waited for someone else to remember to remind you, right? So again, your job is being paid to do the work because I'm busy doing other things, right? Otherwise I would just do it all myself, right? So in the context of what I think we need to prioritize is we need to prioritize automated reminders. Because if the problem is that you're forgetting to do the work, you don't know what work you need to do, we need to do the automated reminders in relationship to the Google Calendar and get those set up. So we need to prioritize that, right, as a priority. So let's add that to our priority work.
It's 10:30.
And then we also can work on the automated bots in the Discord as well. So automated task and responsibility reminders, Google Calendar. So someone should schedule with me on that, and we should move forward and actually, set up our automated reminders, go through the responsibility organizing, make sure that it's clear what needs to get done, because I think that will help us achieve all of our goals. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So any other questions on the goals?
I've updated two of
I
them.
think,
Is this correct now or?
Are your goals done? Which ones are they?
to schedule more VA work sessions with Jay.
That's again
Is
that's just scheduling,
okay?
right? And if
The
your
other
goal
one,
is scheduling, then you need to make it really clear what is the goal that you're trying to achieve within scheduling, right? So if all you're trying to do is just schedule a monthly budget session, that's not a clear goal in relationship to scheduling, because it's just confusing budgeting and scheduling. You know that you're not. If your goal is scheduling, then you should focus on scheduling. What is the goal that you're going to achieve for scheduling, not monthly budget and quarterly budget? All right. So anyone ready to move forward here? Because we need to move on.
Two goals. I think we can go over.
Focus on
I'm
the
done with
Canopy
the
work schedule and have at least 3 work sessions in a week. Boom. Very simple, clear, easy. Focus on scheduling VA work and have at least 3 to 4 VA work sessions happening in a week. Perfect. All right, so that's a lot of work sessions in a week. So that's a very high level goal, but it is clear, simple, straightforward goal. All right, you're good. So Albina is now verified.
Can you verify? Can you check on mine? I already
All right,
edited
let's
it.
check on Pressy.
Focus on the taxes work to avoid hard stops.
Well, again, that's just a priority. So the key word is the deadline. To get the taxes work done before the deadline. The only problem is that we already missed all these deadlines, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense in terms of the taxes work. Right? Again, in the fact that you're focusing on taxes is the problem, right? Because taxes is not work. Taxes is a massive project. It's not even really a priority. It's like a huge project of many, many priorities. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's very difficult when you talk about taxes to even have any idea what you're even talking about, because there's literally like, 15 priorities under taxes and like 100 responsibilities. Right? So it's like, what does that even mean? All right, so we should get moving on to the next topic.
Can you verify my goals? I changed it to fulfill the commitment hours for VA work for 8 hours per week.
Well, but that doesn't make sense though. Because you just took on the deputy position, which is like 20 hours a week. Or
no,
up
like
to 20 hours a week.
This is only specific for the VA work.
VA
not
work
like
is not specific.
Yeah, VA work specific.
There is no such thing as specific VA work. You have to say what work you're trying to do. VA work is by definition not specific. So yeah, this is definitely, and this one also, neither of these are clear and they're not organized, so you can either delete them or whatever. I mean, you just need like 4 or 5 goals. You don't need like 7. All right.
How about
so we should really get moving on here.
Okay.
Let's try. 30 seconds.
30 seconds starts. Cool. Also, I feel like in the future we need to be doing goals where we're actually supporting each other. Like, all of you should be capable of, by this point, reviewing each other's goals and to be able to check and make sure everyone has good goals. Right? And then after all the goals have been reviewed and verified that they're correct, then I would come and do a final verification, because you guys are more than capable of knowing what a goal is and being able to tell it apart. It might be harder to tell apart your own goal, but if you read someone else's goal, it'll help you with understanding your own goals, and then you guys should be able to do it on your own. So what I want Pressy and Gino to go and set up a buddy team and to work on each other's goals, and to when you feel like your goals look good for each other, then you come back to me and you tell me that I should review them, okay?
Okay.
It will save time, a lot of time. Comment session.
What?
Yeah, I'm saying that will be better. It will be saving our time during the main session. That we just have over what we do as a team.
If we were really organized, we would have all of our goals done before the main session, right? And that would require people to do reminders and to set up automated reminders and just be like, everyone needs to do their goals before the Mercury session. Do your goals, and like for like a week beforehand, and then maybe everyone would do their goals, and then we get to the Mercury session and we could just review and verify all the goals instead of actually write them. All right, so the next topic is Canopy Green Team scheduling verification. So let's take a look at the schedule.
This is the schedule I have, like in the Geno sheet and the thing.
Okay, but we
this
also
is what I
need,
found
we
available.
need to look at the entire schedule. It's not just you, it's the whole
Yeah.
team scheduling.
Yes, I checked the schedule for Alvina and Pressy.
Okay, but it also all goes into my schedule as well.
Yeah.
Let me see. Those schedules are vacant for yours as well.
Okay, but this is where we want the schedule to be updated, is here as well.
Oh, in this one as well? In
Yeah.
the J's. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
So here we've got main session, Albina, Pressy, and then we're adding Gino. So this still needs to be updated. So then we take a look at Albina. Albina, you're doing Mondays and Fridays Americas and Tuesdays, Thursdays Cobalt.
Yes.
Hello, I couldn't hear you. Albina?
Yes, that is correct.
This is correct. Okay. And Pressy is doing Sonic. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to remove 1 day, Pressy. You're only supposed to do 4 days plus the main session to make 5 total.
Okay.
And Gino is
1, 2, 3, 4.
Cobalt Monday, Tuesday. Andromeda Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Cobalt on Friday. Okay, so I think it's basically just opposite Albina. Is that correct?
Okay. So is that okay? That schedule okay?
I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it adds up correctly. Cool.
Okay.
But then we just need to make sure it's updated here.
Yes, I updated the...
Gino, Albina. Perfect. All right, and then Pressy. So Pressy is Monday, Tuesday, and then not Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday. Is that correct, Pressy?
Yes. One question. Since we are scheduling a work session with you, are we going to do Skype check-in also as well? Yes, still.
What's the question? I don't understand.
My question is, we are doing the work session with you, like for example, Albina is doing the Cobalt work sessions with you, and I'm doing the Sonic. Are we going to do Skype check-in still for the green team?
These are not work session schedules. This is all check-in schedules on Skype. That's what it is.
Okay.
And even
I got
before
it.
the work session happens, you have to check in. So it's all just comes. Like you have to check in, then the work session comes maybe in the next. It's like sending a reminder. So
No, it's
check in.
scheduling. Your job is to schedule a work session so that we get on Hangout.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. Okay, thank you for the clarification. I assume that we don't have to do the Skype check-in since we are doing the Canopy Green Team work session. But I'm wrong. So we have to do the Skype check-in still.
I still am confused on what even you're talking about. What responsibility are you talking about? What's the responsibility?
No, not a responsibility. I'm just asking you if, like, for example, I'm doing the reminders on you on the Skype, right? Before the session.
Reminders
so should I?
Reminders for what?
Reminding for the work session for the Canopy.
There is no scheduled work session.
Yeah.
We didn't schedule a work session.
Okay. Okay. I get it. So I have to propose first for the schedule and then do the Skype check-in for you to remind that we have a session.
No. Can someone explain it to Presley, please?
Sorry, I'm confused. It's okay.
Why don't we write it
Okay,
down so it's clear? We can write it down, and this is a responsibility. We can write down the responsibility, and then there should be a responsibility organizing so that it's clear and can be updated and trained to people. So Albina or Gino, can you explain it to Presley or not?
Okay, Presley, what we are going to do is just our Skype check-ins for green team. This is not
Yes.
work session. We are not scheduled for work.
I got it.
But that's not correct either. What is the purpose of the Skype of the green team texts? What is the purpose?
Check-in?
Why are you communicating by text about the green team? What is the purpose of the communication?
To make the work session happen?
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So you're just checking into for doing the work. It's the same thing as the Octic check-ins, except it's focused on Canopy.
Oh yeah.
For the
I get
Octic
it.
check-ins, we're required to check into for doing work on anything to meet that policy. For Canopy, you're just checking to work on Canopy.
Mhm.
So for example, right? So do you guys understand what the responsibility is or not?
I did.
What's the responsibility?
My responsibility is to Skype check-in for you
No.
for the work
This
session.
green, this Canopy green team, regular scheduled
Skype
work
check-in.
check-ins. It doesn't have to be only on Skype. It can be on Discord. It can be by email. It can be however you want to, right? But the point is that it's a regularly scheduled work check-ins for Canopy Green Team.
Yeah.
And really, it doesn't matter whether it's Green Team or not. But, it's just like Canopy regularly scheduled work check-ins. So you have the schedule.
Yes.
And you need to be checking in regularly. So what are some examples of correct check-ins, and what are examples of incorrect check-ins? Either one.
Incorrect check-in is like I'm not doing any work, then I'll plan to do work by that time or something. That's like an incorrect check-in, right?
Well, yeah, obviously that would not be correct, obviously, but what can you think of something that might be a little closer that might also be incorrect?
The incorrect one is
You are available.
Or what about a correct one? Do you want to do a correct one?
the correct one is when you are telling your how you're feeling, your strike, and telling how many hours are you gonna be available in from
No.
what time until what time,
That
and then
would be incorrect. If that's what you did, that would be incorrect.
okay.
Right? Because it's not about your
the correct one
availability. Availability is not the goal. But it is good to do
But
your
the goal
strikes.
is
Your
to
strikes
check
are
in
part
when
of the
you are
criteria.
available. You check in when you are available at that time and asking for schedule for work session.
That's it for the work session.
No, that's not correct. If you do a message on Discord and you're like, "Hi, I'm just letting you know that I might be available over the next 2 hours," that is totally wrong. That's incorrect.
So like the check-in should be is like I am read well no.
Hi Tim, I'm at 3. I got 14 strikes and just reminding about the work session.
But there's no work session scheduled.
Asking you if there is something we can focus on the canopy and to check the servers if they are running.
Yes, that's very important to check the
And tell that
servers.
you are available now until the next hours.
So, I mean, just to make sure that it's simple and clear, it's really about just proposing. We propose a work session for, 1 hour from now to do work on Canopy, right? Or whatever specific time that we want to schedule to do the work. That's really the bottom line, right? It's just like, right, let's get scheduled and get on the hangout to do the work. Can you work in 1 hour? Is a proposal? Can you work in 1 hour? Right? Do you understand? And then if the answer is yes, then it's like, let's remind, 30 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now, right? Or maybe it's like, can you work now? Right? So the point is that it's a proposal for working on Canopy. Right? It's not like, oh, I might be available for the next couple hours. Like, that's not a proposal. That's not a direct request to work. It's just like, oh, I might be available, right? So what, right? So it's like you need to basically propose doing a work session. So you need to do responsibility, organize. Obviously, this is a big problem for everybody. And this is one of the reasons why we're not getting a lot of work done, is because people just don't communicate specifically about scheduling and doing the work. If all you ever say is like, oh, I'm not working on anything, then no one's gonna ever do any work, right? So it's like, it needs to be clear and focused, and just, I propose doing a Canopy work session in 1 hour. Yes or no, right? That's simple. It's straightforward. There's nothing complicated about it. It doesn't complicate availability with possibility. All this is just like, yes or no. In 1 hour, can we do a work session?
Yeah.
If the answer is no, then the question would be, okay, what about in 2 hours? What about now? What about another time, right? So it's just like keep following through to figure out when the best time is.
I get it.
So you guys need to do the responsibility organizing. Can you do that? Because obviously this is going to come up over and over and over again, and we've been doing this for months and months and months and not doing very well with it.
Okay.
We should already have responsibility organizing on this. Right? So get it updated, get it organized. Okay, so someone give an example of a correct way to do the Canopy regularly scheduled work check-ins.
Is it like this? Hi team, I'm at 3. I'm got 15 strikes, and anything that we have to focus on Canopy now, and kindly check the servers. And I'm available to. Are you gonna be available now to work and focus on Canopy?
So that's better, but it's still not great, because it's if that's all you do, we already know that it doesn't work, because if you only say, oh, I'm available now, then if we're not available now, we probably aren't going to do any work. So that's where the reminders come in, would be where you want to check in like a half hour or 10 minutes or sometime before and say, hey, I'm going to be available in about 10-20 minutes to do some work. I'm proposing to work in 10 minutes or in 15 minutes. That is much more successful than saying, oh, we need to work right now. And that's it, right? There's just the probability of being able to work right now without any reminders and without proposing it at least 10-20 minutes in the future is very difficult, because typically I'm busy working on something.
Yeah. And
right?
you might even miss to see the message, so shouldn't just like right now. You'll have a reminder, maybe give you time to check.
So like for example, like the message should be like since like for example, like for Canopy, right? I'm ready to be. I'm ready to schedule on can. I'm ready to help. I'm ready to help you out with Canopy. Like I propose a schedule with you if you want it to be like Andromeda H2 if you're available around. Oh wait, no, right. Wrong. Wait,
That's
hold on.
perfect. Andromeda H2 for Canopy work, yes or no? Simple, straightforward, done. Right? It doesn't need to be complicated at all. Andromeda hour 2 for Canopy. That's it. Done. I mean, what else is there? Does that make sense or not?
Makes sense.
So if you guys can write that down in the notes, right? We're saying all these things and no one's taking any notes, right? So write it down in the notes and then put in the responsibility organizing, and we should have many examples of how to correctly communicate about the check-in. Like the whole purpose of the check-in is to propose work, right? To propose a work schedule in that octant, right? So if the octant is Andromeda, the proposal would be to, like Gino just said, hour 2 Andromeda Canopy work session, yes or no? All right, I'll give you a reminder in 20 minutes. Sounds great. Right? And then Pressie's correct. There are additional criteria points, including checking the servers, reviewing on your number of strikes. Those are also required components of the check-in. But the most important part it's like you guys get the easy parts, like, oh yeah, look at the server, oh yeah, here are my strikes. That's the easy part. The hard part is the actual scheduling for the work and then making sure the work happens, right? That's the part we're missing. And if you can't do that part, the rest of the check-in is pointless. You understand?
Yes.
It's like if you can't actually, and the same thing that we did for the regularly scheduled text check-ins for just the whole team, right? We got rid of the check-in on the status because it was pointless, because no one was doing the actual focus of the actual policy, which was to check in to do work, right? And if you're not going to check in to do work, then the rest of the check-in is pointless. It's like, why even check in about how you're doing and your strikes and everything if you're not even going to propose work? It's just like there's no point to do that. So it's like, first thing you want to do is check in to propose work. Proposal, hour 2 Andromeda Canopy work session. That's the question, and then you do the rest of your check-in after you propose the work. Otherwise, there's no point to check in. All right, any other questions? So we go on to the next topic.
Yes.
And then let's just do this one quick, and then we can wrap up and check out.
Okay. So, stage 6. Okay.
Oh, this is new training on advanced dating organized. You can check on the advanced organized for stage 6.
So is anyone going to link this, or should we just go ahead and check out?
Just a minute.
Okay.
Sorry.
So while you
Checking.
guys are doing that, I just want to mention that, you know, taking all this extra time going through all these details of, you know, for what seems to me to be very simple responsibilities, like, you know, checking in on the vocabulary of how to check in correctly, or how to do your how to get organized as a worker, right? Especially for VA sessions. Um, it might seem like a lot of extra time spent on these like little details, but I feel like, you know, it's like zooming in really deep into these specific responsibilities is very helpful, because once you understand the models of how we operate and function and the methodology around it, and like it's like the specifics of the formalities of communication at a professional level, once you get it, it's like it's the exact same thing for every single other responsibility, right? It's really the same principles, the same concepts, you know, of just connecting the dots and having things make sense professionally and in communication and with the team to build the teamwork. So hopefully by zooming into these specific responsibilities, when you start applying these same principles and ideas and the methods to all the other responsibilities, maybe all the other responsibilities will make sense as well. Because it's really the same thing over and over again. It's just follow the policies. What does it say? Making sure that you're doing the responsibility organizing, that you're organized as a worker, that your positions are organized, that the team is organized. It's the same thing over and over and over again, except for slightly different perspectives of whether it's a responsibility, a task, the team, the position, you know, you as a worker, right? And making sure that the responsibility is clearly laid out so you understand what your goal and objective is, you understand the criteria, you know that yes, you need to mention your strikes. Yes, you need to make sure the server's running. Yes, you need to make sure that you're actually proposing work and not just saying, "Oh, I'm available," which is just not enough, right? So once you get the concept of the methodology of how we function, you can apply it to everything at both the smallest level and the largest level of the entire network. And we just keep doing it over and over and over again, and eventually we'll be super organized, we'll be super, you know, ready to do pretty much anything, you know? So we're making a lot of progress. Like even if you go back a year, where we were a year ago, we are in much better shape today than we were a year ago, even with the problems with the finances. All right, so Albina, what is the question here? What's our goal?
Yeah, you said we need to make it more advanced on safety. Actually, we have getting organized and responsibility organizing on things, right? And the same information gets in the safety. So you said we need to advance it.
But again, this is not responsibly organized. This is a new This is a new training.
Oh, okay.
This is just training number 4 that you copied. This is an old training.
So we have to do it like, for example, it's about training 10, or we have to add training 11.
I'm so confused. What is the training we're talking about?
The one we had, for a while ago.
Okay, but that's not good enough. It needs to be a specific training. Say with the name of the training. Not the one we had. That's not good enough. That's not clear.
The training on advanced getting organized, self-driven responsibilities.
Okay, so where are the details on it?
We don't have it on training 6 on boarding stage 6.
Okay, so basically you're just asking me to do it for you, or I'm confused. Like what is the whole point of this agenda item?
Okay. In my understanding, I thought you said we need to edit the training on responsibility organizing and getting organized.
No, that's not what I said. Does anyone remember what I said or want to review the notes? Gino, Pressy?
A moment.
As I remember, it was just renaming it?
No,
Or,
it definitely
more
was not
advanced?
renaming it.
A moment. Okay, no. You said updated?
Yes, but update it by doing
to
what?
add and start organizing a new training in stage 6. So it's basically adding a new training.
Adding
stem.
a new
Yes.
training.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about, where it's like, it's just you guys not doing the work. It's like you just waste a bunch of time because you didn't do the basic professionality of looking at the freaking notes and reading it. That literally took 10 seconds. And you do this over and over and over again on everything instead of just doing the work, opening the notes, looking at what it says, understanding the responsibility of the task. You're wasting my time and 3 other people's time to just have someone do it for you. Right? And it happens over and over and over and over again. It's not that hard to just literally open up the notes and read. So my question again is, what are you wanting to accomplish with this agenda item besides just reviewing the responsibility that obviously you did not understand? Like, do you want me to do
No.
the work for you, or what is it
I
that is
already
going on?
understood the responsibility. I'll focus
No, you
on it.
didn't
So there is
understand the
nothing.
responsibility, or you would have said it. You just said that you was either going to be replacing it, you were going to change
I
it.
now understand it.
We
I
now
now
we understand it. Yes.
Yes, now, not that I understood it.
Yeah.
I've said it.
So now we
Now I
understood it.
understand it.
So is
So
that
there
the
is
goal?
nothing to review because there is no work done on it.
Okay. So that was the goal of the agenda item, was just to figure out what the responsibility was?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Or do you have any other questions?
No.
All right. So let's add the responsibility into our work priorities. Can we do that real quick?
Yes. Oops. Oh, no.
Done.
Look, responsibility to add and start organizing a new training in stage 6 for advanced. I mean, I just don't know how to get any clearer than this. Like, I just literally don't know how to be more clear with things. So for me, there's a deeper problem and issue going on here where I go out of my way to take my time to be professional, to be organized, to be clear, to do as much as I can to help you guys in writing out a specific responsibility to add and start organizing a new training in stage 6 for, quote, advanced getting organized with self-driven work. Again, I don't know how to be more clear than that. And then, we come back and we spend 10 minutes on just confusion and having no idea what's going on, and people don't even know the responsibility, and it's just like there's something wrong, right? There's some sort of issue that we need to address as a team, to why I go out of my way to make things as clear as possible, and it's just not enough. And people still are just totally confused and have no idea what they're supposed to do. They don't even know whether it's a new or existing or old responsibility or whatever. And it literally says in the responsibility exactly what it is. So it's like, why is the communication so bad with, I try so hard to be as clear as possible, to support the team, and it doesn't work. Over and over and over again, it's like people have no idea what's going on. And I don't know, maybe it's a cultural issue or a language barrier that we need to hire people who speak better English or whatever. I don't know, but we need to figure something out because it's not functional to be operating like this, So I don't know exactly what the issue is or the next step, but it's something like, issue of, miscommunication, disorganization, not following clear responsibilities, culture, language issues. I don't know what it is, but it's like, give clear instructions, yet, give clear professional, instructions, yet nothing happens and the work doesn't get done. Question mark. So I don't know what to call that, but there's obviously
Jay,
something going on.
Let me just say something. Every time you say when you have a questions, anything you don't understand, we bring it in the main session. So I gave this as a topic to which was our next step. Because when you get on stage 6, you see there is get organized with priorities, responsibilities. The new training is almost related to that one. Getting organized with self-responsibilities. According to me, I had understood is just updating what is existing there. So making it a topic is to go through so that we understand. After our last session on canopy, it was my midnight, I went to sleep. This is another session after the other session. So there is nothing I attempted to work. That's why I brought it in the main session so that I get clear information on that. On what. So there is nothing wrong when someone misunderstands something and they want clarity on it. So to me, it was a topic so that I understand more on it, so that I see what's next after I get clarity.
Okay,
so don't get mad. Maybe it was misunderstood from my side. Getting organized on priorities and responsibilities.
Well, no, this is
getting organized with self-driven responsibility. So to me, it's almost related.
Okay, but what we should do is I would just cross out getting organized with priorities, responsibilities, and just do the responsibility organizing training. Responsibility organizing training is huge in and of itself.
Okay.
Right? So then we want to break out all the so we want to take this training number 4 and we split it up into 2 trainings. One training is responsibility organizing training, and the other training is getting organized for self-driven responsibilities.
Thank you.
So I think that's basically the goal, right? It's that this training should be focused on responsibility organizing, and then you're basically removing all of the details on getting organized, their priorities, responsibilities. We're adding that into the self-organizing. So you want to have all your priorities and responsibilities organized based on their self-driven work, and we're calling it self-driven work, right? So we decided to go to work, right? So for this one, add self-driven work. Yeah, see? Advanced getting organized with self-driven work.
Okay.
So the reason why this has the getting organized with priorities and responsibilities, this is basically the same as number 3 in stage 5. So this is, I think this is primarily, some of this is copied from stage 5. And then you have the responsibility organizing information doc, which is the focal point for the responsibility organizing.
Yes, thank you.
But I definitely agree there was some miscommunication, just because when I heard the responsibility, I thought that work had gotten done. So maybe we just need clarity on the desired outcome, and that's where the confusion was. All right. Anything else on any other questions on anything, or should we just go ahead and wrap up and check out, or what?
I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. And just, I guess for me, just to finish up, I just want to make it clear that, my hope is that, really 6 people, 6 people's a lot of people, let's say we hired 10 people, right? Like, it's just for me, it's unbelievable, the whole concept. But let's say you have 10 people working, 20 hours a week, which is not even full time, right? 200 hours a week just seems like unbelievable amounts of work. Like, everything to get done twice over for that much time. You know, so like if you had even 5 people working full time, like 150 hours a week, it doesn't make sense that all the work doesn't get done. You know, we should be able to, with 5 people working full time, or if we had 10 people working part time, right, which is what we have 5 to 10 people, and we you know, so my hope is that we hire a few more people. Maybe we need like, you know, let's say we hire 12 people, and like, you know, 4 or 5 of them don't work out, so we end up with around 7 or 8 people total, that we should be able to get all the work done. We should be able to get all the assets stabilized. We should be able to get all the taxes done. We should be able to get all of the, you know, outreach done. We should be able to make sure our websites are working for all of our planetary sessions. We should be able to do basic outreach for the planetary sessions, do some Google ads, do some, you know, Facebook, some Twitter. I mean, just basic stuff. When we should be able to make sure that all of our meetings are organized, the responsibilities are organized, we have automated reminders, that, you know, our communication's going well. It just all should work. I mean, it's easier said than done, but it should be possible to achieve this goal. It could take us a couple months to get everyone trained and get everything together, but it's just, you know, I just don't really understand why we're, you know, it's definitely very, very difficult to meet our goals, but I'm confident that we'll get there. You know, we just need to keep going and pushing a little bit more. I think we're really close to getting to the point where Albina will no longer be the only person who knows how to do everything. And I think that's one of the problems with our current team framework, is that there was way too much reliance on Albina, you know, which put a lot of pressure on Albina, and also a lot of other people waited for Albina to do things, you know, instead of stepping up and doing it themselves, right? So I feel like we're really close, especially with the 4 of us, to be more of equals, where everybody is really like stepping up and being equal to Albina, instead of waiting for Albina and feeling like Albina, you need permission for everything from Albina. So anyways, Albina's gotten to where we are, but if we really want to move forward, we need to work together as equals, with Albina just being one of the team instead of being the primary, you know, pillar for the team, right? So anyways, you know, we're all very thankful for where Albina has gotten us to. And you know, if we can hire a few other people, train them, then they will become the new Pressy, you know, and the new, you know, the new workers who are going to be in the process of learning, and then the Pressy can become the new Albina. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a process of what do you call this? Training people to be able to handle a responsibility by their own, and to take a whole responsibility, a whole accountability for that responsibility.
Yeah, and I think it's also more than just responsibilities, right? Like the core to what I'm training is not responsibilities. And I know like responsibilities are important, but that's secondary, because there's thousands of responsibilities. We're never going to be able to train everybody on every responsibility. It's literally just never going to happen. So in the same way that we never ever focus on tasks, right? There are literally millions of tasks. If I sat here and tried to train every single person on every single task, we would never get anywhere, because there's so many tasks to be done. So we give you responsibilities, and then you have to figure out the tasks out yourself. Yeah. Right? And just figure the steps out and just take responsibility for it. That's the whole point of a responsibility. But in the end, even though we can train people responsibilities, right, and we can get you to understand how the responsibilities work, it's still not enough. That the whole purpose of learning a responsibility is that our methods for each responsibility are similar. The same things repeat over and over and over and over again, the same steps, the same methods, the same models. And that's really what we're trying to train. We're trying to train the methodology, right? The work methods are the most important thing to learn. So I feel like one of the first trainings for stage 7, and this is where Albina would be. Albina, you are a stage 7 worker.
Okay.
All right. And so I think one of the first trainings for stage 7 should be our work methods. And we have done work method training. We have videos on it. So that stage 7 would really be covering all of our work methods as well as all the other advanced trainings that we took out of stage 6. So there's about 4 or 5 advanced trainings that we took out of stage 6 to make stage 6 go quicker. So that we would probably have about 7 or 8 trainings in stage 7 already. One of them being methods. I think we want to add in training on work methods, because that's the most important thing. Because once you understand the work methods, then you as a worker don't have to be reliant on someone to train you on a responsibility, right? If you understand the work methods, then you can actually create the responsibilities yourself and actually build your own responsibilities. And more importantly, you can create your own systems, your own processes, and actually start understanding how everything fits together in the bigger picture, because you understand the methodology, because you applied exactly the same methodology to every single problem, and that problem is solved with creating clear, structured responsibilities that then can be trained to other people, and then you solve more and more problems. So once you learn and understand the methodology, it's the responsibilities become secondary, because the responsibility becomes more of like a tool to train someone to do work as opposed to the work itself. Right? So I don't know. I know probably no one taking any notes on any of this stuff, but let's just.
Yeah, I'm doing it at the bottom.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's what we need. We need more notes happening. Thank you, Albina. So let's just put the response to the task would be to add work methods training. To stage 7. So the place where you'd find stage 7 is like the list of all of the trainings for the entire recruitment process, which there's like 50 different trainings. And we broke it all up to stage 5 and stage 6, and then we took out a bunch of things out of stage 6 and we put it in stage 7, but we just never gotten there because no one's ever gotten to stage 7. And we'll have Albina start on stage 7, but there wasn't much need to have Albina go through stage 7 because you've already gotten all these trainings before. So Albina, you can help get stage 7 organized and as we get people finishing stage 6, okay?
Yes.
So that would be the responsibility here is organizing stage 7. And this is Albina. And then also you're helping finalize stage 6, but that's just like pretty minor. It's just like that one responsibility that you're adding. So getting stage 7 together is going to be a significant amount of work. And then once stage 7 is complete, there'll also be a stage 8. I don't know if we'll have a stage 9 or not, but definitely gonna have a stage 8 because there's always more to learn. So we'll just see. I feel like it's possible that the recruitment and trainings just never end, that you basically go to stage 8, stage 9, stage 10, it's just like never ending because there's always more to learn. And there's a whole bunch of trainings that I could do myself, that I could learn. So it's just, there's just, it's never ending, what you can learn to become a better global organizer. So I don't know if we actually will stop the trainings. All right, let's check out. Who wants to go first? Albina?
Albina?
Yes. Okay, I give the session 7. It's really nice to go over everything. Also the misunderstanding, the new training on statistics. Thank you, Jay, for clarity. I'll be focusing on budgets, patient supports, onboarding, page 7, getting organized, 7. Also update the new training on page 6. And taxes. And
Okay,
schedule
thank
on canopy work.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now who
Proceed.
wants to go next? You want to go? Okay,
Or Jay or
Jay first.
Yeah, sure. I give this session like a 6. I feel like it went pretty well. We did pretty good on our timekeeping and everything. I am pretty impressed on the Mars session. We definitely could have done more outreach and more recruitment and getting it more organized, but overall I feel like it worked well, that we achieved our goals for the Mars session. I think this is more or less the last session. I don't think anything's going to happen for the open sessions because we didn't really do any outreach for it, and tomorrow there's just the one minor session for the conversation, so I don't know much is going to happen with that. But the point that I'm trying to make is that it's just that it's gone very well, for the Mars session. So we did the Earth session, we did the Venus session. The Venus session was sort of like last minute and just happened with it a couple days. So this is like the only second one we've done that had a little bit more time to plan for it. So I'm pretty excited about the Mars session and feel it went well. I feel like I definitely want to go over the Mars value tracking and make sure that actually is, at least semi completed, and make sure that it's moving forward. Because if we skip it, never can do it again, right? So it's either has to happen now or it just won't happen. So that would be good to have. But other than that, everything's looking really good. And then I'm excited about moving forward for the series session. So I'll be working on the series session, finalizing the website, doing the outreach and updating, making sure we get all the Google calendars and email groups set up for it, and move forward with the series session. Again, the series session only happens once every 2 years, so it's definitely a good session. Ideally we could create a series plan, but I doubt we'll get there. We still have our Jupiter plan, so that should, or Saturn plan, so that should still keep us going for a while longer. And I'll be working on the canopy, the recruitment, taxes, budget, finances, whatever we need to do, all of it. So check. Who wants to go next?
You know,
Proceed. Okay.
First.
I'll give this session a 7. It's a pretty good session. We were able to have our Mercury goals, our next Mercury goals set, and hopefully I can do better with my with setting up my goals, and like identifying which one is the actual goal and which one is just like a schedule or just a responsibility. And I'm looking forward to working with Jay with the canopy for the VA work, as well as the chief deputy position uh, with evolving responsibilities and priorities with that. And as well as I will also be working on the bills with Prezi, as well as getting trained or taking responsibility as well for the monthly budget for now. Check.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll go next.
Oh, one quick thing about the monthly 1.5 month goals. Please, someone send out a reminder. So this would be a task to make sure all the other workers know that they're not allowed to work until they've completed their 1.5 month goals. Okay.
Okay.
I'll
add that.
remind.
Cool.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it on the Skype.
Remind workers that they cannot work if they haven't verified their 1.5 goals, right?
Well, just make
Yes,
sure that
we are not done.
they just need to do their 1.5 month goals,
Oh, okay.
and then we can verify them. If they're not verified, then we can tell them they have to stop again. But let's at least get them doing them.
Okay. Okay, pressing.
Okay, I'm gonna go next. I will give the session 7. It's really good. It's clarifies some of our confusion, and it's good to know what are the things in a small things for us to understand the bigger things. And I will be working on the bills, budget, pop verification, rankings, new recruit support, also some for the taxes, and we're gonna go. I will do the proposal for the news for the schedule for the next week. For next week. Okay. I guess we are done. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Albina. You can sleep again. Thank
no.
you. Bye.
No. So please, you can meet.
Later.
Did you
Do.
do the value tracking?
Yep. We're gonna do the value tracking.
Like for J, it's 2 times, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time. It's just 1 time.
I guess for Albina it's 2x.
I started I started 6 a.m. It's
So it's 1x.
Yeah, for
8:30.
for me it's 1.5x.
Okay,
Yeah.
1.5
So-
x for J.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
So 2.5 hours?
0.5. 2.5. It's 1:30.
Okay.
We started at 11. It's 2.5. 3. I think.
So 3, 1, just 1 for Linsong. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Strikes as well for
Me, Mamoon, Tamisha, and Tametope.
let's see.
Me for not reminding,
Tamisha,
and Mamoon and Tametope
and right,
times 1.5 times 3.
3 times 2.
It's 11:30.
0.75 times 1. So one participant. I think this should only be 1. For Linsong, it should only be 1.
Okay.
Because 1 times 0.75, right?
Yep. Times 1. Yeah. Okay. And also, if you do the value tracking, you're gonna go to the New World schedule.
Technically speaking, Ling Sing was quite participatory. He was very participatory during the actual agenda item that he was here. So he wasn't
Oh, okay.
here
So
as long, but he was very participatory for the time that he was here. He checked in, he communicated, so someone who
So-
would be like a
we
1
can
on
give.
PP means they like hardly ever speak, they don't really say anything, and they don't really interact.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I thought it was based on computation.
Based
It's
on
based
what?
on the. I will guess that based on the time he spent on.
No, it has nothing to do with the time. It has to do with like while they're here, how much participation did they have in the meeting. So if someone is participating a lot and they were here for 5 minutes and they talk the whole time and they can interact and they ask questions and they engage for that 5 minutes, then they would get a 3 for the 5 minutes that they're engaged in.
Okay.
Okay. So it's based on the what they call it, participation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the participation. All right.
Wait, so we'll be the judge for that?
What?
Or you will be the judge for the participation points?
I guess we are.
Well,
Or the one highest will be the
yeah, it's
highest in
all
ranking, I
by
mean.
rankings. Like whoever it's like ranking can help guide, right? But it's generally speaking, we should have an agreed upon criteria for it all, and we can do responsibility organizing and give tips for how to do it better. But yeah, if there's disagreement, then whoever's ranked higher would usually get to help guide it just to move it forward. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, because the most important thing is like your overall hours, and then your day and night is all pretty much just exact. And your participation level is pretty minor. I mean, we have a breakdown for what the values are. I mean, technically speaking, participation level is based on having your voice versus text. So that's worth, half a point. Then you've got your communication and interactivity, and then there's actually being on the computer. So I mean, technically you might even put him as a 2 just because he wasn't actually doing computer work or taking notes. So to get full points, that would be that you have to be having both text and voice, right? And that you're on the computer actually doing work on the spreadsheets, the documents, helping with notes, helping do whatever, actually taking on positions. And then you're on top of all that, you're interacting and participating in the meeting. That would be a 3. And a 4, I mean, not a 4, but a 3.5, you can get an additional 0.5 points for interactivity and participation if you do video. Right? So, in like a Mercury session, a new moon, full moon, whatever, like doing an extra 0.5 points may not bring you a lot of value. But let's say it's the Saturn session or the Venus, or not the Venus, but like the Jupiter session, having your video, and doing like a Zoom video is can be very valuable for that extra 0.5, because you'd be multiplying it by thousands of hours. And for every hour is worth thousands of hours for something like Jupiter or Saturn. So having your video for certain sessions does technically get you a 0.5 additional points.
Okay, so if we
I
do
noted it.
videos or note taking or any responsibility, it gives us more points.
Yes. So the participation level is it definitely has a specific criteria. And again, the most basic level of participation is text only. So if you do text only participation, you get a maximum of 0.5 points. That's all you get. Right? You get half. It cuts your total value in half. It might even be a quarter, right? And then once you get your audio on, even if you don't have your computer on or whatever, then you still have low participation, right? And then you need to have your computer in fully active functioning on the document, helping with notes, helping with spreadsheets. That is full points. And that would be like 2 points, something like that. And then you're getting an additional point for participation. And then the last 0.5 points to get a full 3.5 would be the maximum. Requires you to have your video. Okay.
Right.
So that's how the participation level works. So it's pretty specific as far as interactivity. Like, it's very rare where everybody interacts as much as we all did today, because everybody was really interactive today. So we all are definitely 3s easily. But there's a lot of sessions where some people just aren't interacting as much. It's pretty normal that there's some people who just don't really participate at the same level. And because most people don't even get on the dock, right? Like, you'll have like, 7 people in a session, and like only 2 or 3 people are helping with notes and actually on the dock and taking on positions, so they just don't get as many points.
Okay, I got it now.
Cool, yeah.
It's
All
not
right.
just the participation, also for the technical support, for the technical.
Yeah, and so
Like for example, when you are on the phone only, it gives you a lesser points because you're not be able to type or to do to help on the notes and everything.
Yeah.
However, if you're just doing notes and you don't have audio, it also gives you a lower point.
Say that, and if you do notes, you don't have what?
Like for example, if you're only on notes, like for example, I'm only on Skype, so it gives me a lower points also.
Yeah. But again, that's the participation level, which is different than the points. So, for example, you have your total number of hours. You would multiply that by your day or night, right? And then you multiply that again by your participation level, right? So if you are at 2x, let's say you work for 2 hours at 2x, that's 4 hours, or 4x value times 3 would be 12. Right? Yeah. So a 12 value is a lot higher than only 2.5, right? So and then you look at the points. The points are equivalent to, I think it's like either 20, 30, 50 points are equivalent to like an hour or whatever. So your points are based on the actual work that you do during the session. So for example, you check in, you get a point. If you check in by text, you get a point, right? So that is 1 point, and then you check out, you get a point, right? But then let's say you're a timekeeper. Every single time that you check in on the timekeeping for your 30-second stretch at the bottom of the hour, at the top of the hour, right, you get a point. So like the timekeeper could get a whole bunch of points. You get a bunch of points for facilitation. You also get points for signing up to take on a position, even if you don't do the position, right? So people who take on positions get points, right? So the points are add up based on who actually is stepping up to do work and actually help run the session. Yeah.
Okay.
Right? So the points themselves are totally separate from the participation level. And the participation level in your day X and day night X are extremely valuable, right? Because you're basically multiplying by 3 times. You're multiplying by 2x for your night time in the middle of the night, and then you have your hours that you're multiplying by, so you get 12 hours value. Whereas your points are very minor. Your points are like, I think you multiply them by 5, but it's like you're basically, it's like worth like an hour, right? Like 10 points is worth like an hour of work. That make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, and primarily that's because the points aren't the actual value of the contribution to the session. The point, that's just like, like you doing work for taking notes. It's like you take notes a little here, you take notes a little bit there, but it doesn't add up to like, 10 hours of work, right? It's just like a little bit of work that you did. Coolio. All right, I'm going to take off. Any other last questions on the value tracking since we're talking about it?
Nothing.
None.
Cool. And if we did this correctly,
yeah,
if we did this correctly, because it's part of the Mars alignment, we would link the Mars value tracking spreadsheet, and we would make sure this is all updated on the spreadsheet, because that's where it needs to be for the Mars value.
Oh, okay. So it should be on the Mars also.
Yeah, all the sessions for the Mars should be on the Mars session value tracking for all of the Mars sessions.
Okay.
That's the whole
So we're
point of
gonna
the Mars
put that
spreadsheet.
on.
And then that should go on the website. Eventually, we need, like, one of the most important things that we never get to is the actual equity value tracking and distributions of our tokens and shares, everything like that. So there's a lot to still be done there that we never get to. But, you know,
Is
first we need to do all the other work. That's important as well.
okay. So in what particular tab is it on the ellipse for full moon?
What?
In
The
what
ellipse?
particular tab I should put on the value tracking for this?
This is
for the
Mercury.
Mercury.
Yeah, this is Mercury.
So I should put another tab for Mercury.
Yeah, we're in the Mercury session right now. This is Mercury. So Mercury is 44 every 44 days. So every hour of this session is like working 44 hours
44
of
hours.
like a normal work session.
Yep.
Yeah.
I should put here. Okay.
Yeah, just like a quick note for Discord, Jay. You can also integrate Google Calendar to Discord.
Good.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple things where some of the automated reminders that I'd set up in the past were all based on Google Calendar, and it was able to review your Google Calendar and then automatically do reminders based on your Google Calendar into the different channels that you requested. So that would be amazing if we could do that with Discord.
That's cool.
So it can also give automatic reminders already on Discord itself as well.
Well, yeah, but if it's not based on the Google Calendar, then it won't be correct. You'd have to manually set up the reminders. Where
Yes.
if you can base it on the Google Calendar, for example, you could just say, you know, the Discord bot simply, send a reminder in relationship to the full moon and new moon in the full moon, new moon group. And then it would just look at the Google Calendar and it would do automatic updates forever for full moons and new moons. And then we just continually update the Google Calendar, which we already do already, right? Otherwise, every single time we schedule the full moon, new moon twice a month, we would have to update the bot on Discord manually, right?
Yeah.
Because if it can use Google Calendar as the model and it just looks for whenever the scheduled date is for the full moon or new moon, then it would do it automatically, and we don't have to, all we have to do is just update the Google Calendar, which we already do, and then it does it automatically within Discord. That would be the ideal.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I'll go to bed. I'll talk to you guys later. Good work on all the Mars
Alright.
session and everything. You did a really good job.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.